So today we are gonna make this guy, a little Goomba. So we just found a reference online that we're gonna use, and we're gonna bring that reference in here. So I'm gonna once again, take these length and width segments out of there, right? And then I'm gonna hit M on the keyboard to bring up my material editor. And I'm just going to drag and drop my image into my material editor, like so. Now I can grab a standard material or physical material, like so. Then I'm just going to drag and drop that into the diffuse. So just make it bigger. So I just drag this guy into the base color map. I'm not using a standard, so it's base color map. And that's good to go. So now if I hit this guy, I can show, okay, it's already set. It's already set to show in the viewport if you're using 2021. Now if I just add it to the image, well, you can see our Goomba. There's just one problem. I know that this Goomba is a little squashed. It's a little squashed, and that's because of the aspect of our plane. The plane is determining the scale of the image right now. And I know that this image is 400 by 400. I know that because whenever I hover over the image in Google, it tells me right here in the corner, right? You see that? It's a 400 by 400 image. So I'm going to show you guys two different ways right now to make sure that your image matches. So now that I know that the image is literally a perfect square, all I have to do is make sure that my plane is a perfect square, and that should fix it. Right? That would make the image correct. Another way to do it, right, if our image was like this, right, it was skewed, right? You guys can see the difference between it being skewed and not, right? Like you guys can tell that, okay, this is wrong. If I model this, I model the wrong Goomba. Right, like if I model it like this is the wrong Goomba. All right, so and I feel like I need to tell students that all the time, that if you model, if you model it squished, you're modeling it wrong from the beginning. So the next way I would show you guys how to fix that would be, I would go into my UVW map settings, and this is probably the best way to do it because it's actually just matching the PNGs or the image file's actual resolution. So I'm just going to throw on this UVW map right here. Now that I've got my UVW map on, I'm going to do bitmap fit. And what bitmap fit is going to do is it's going to say, hey, you've got this image that you want to match to this. Where is this image that you want us to perfectly fit onto this plane? Well, I'm going to find my image. I'm going to go open, and it's going to make sure that it fits it into the resolution of that image. And now, as you can see, it's going to start doing extra if my plane isn't big enough to encompass our picture. So what I can do is now I can just decrease the length or the width segments so that it matches what that is. So it just needs to be 6 because I know what it needs to be. It needs to be 6. All right. So that's another way to do it. So this will make sure that no matter what, it is that image resolution. So no matter what I do here, right, it's just going to mess with the plane and not the image, because the image itself, it's perfectly placed on that plane. So you guys can understand what's going on. It's just going to tile it forever if I do that. So now I've got my Goomba ready to go. The next thing I want to do now is I'm going to right click this guy. Right, I'm going to right click and I'm going to freeze the selection. And if I freeze it, right, what it's going to do is it's going to turn everything gray. So what I want to do is now is unfreeze all again, select the image, right click it, go to my object properties, right? And then now I'm going to click the freeze, show frozen as gray. I want to turn that off. I don't want to show frozen as gray because what that was doing is if I freeze anything or if I freeze it, it's going to display it as gray. This is an indicator for people so that they know that they can't move that object. But we don't need to do it because this is our reference image. I want to see whatever's on there. All right, so now I cannot select it. I can't select it, and I can just start doing my modeling now. All right. So today we'll probably get through the base of the Goomba. So we're probably gonna make the base. I just isolated it, which is we're just gonna make the basic shapes, and yeah, maybe tomorrow or Tuesday, no, Wednesday, we'll finish it up. All right. So let's get her going. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to actually use a cylinder. I'm going to use a cylinder for the head because I think that's going to give me the roundness. Maybe a box. Right? Like this is a very important part of the process, is figuring out what you're going to start with. Because you can really start with anything. Like you can start with pretty much anything. I can do it with a plane, a box, or a cylinder. Let's see. Let's start it with a cylinder. All right. I'm just going to draw a cylinder on top of them like that. Hit Alt-X. Make sure it's see-through. I'm going to hit, oh shit. Cylinder. Boom. It's a two-step operation. Alt-X. Now I'm going to rotate this bad boy. Oh, I don't have my angle snaps on, so rotate this bad boy 90 degrees. W on my keyboard to bring up my movement tool. All right. If I hit F4, I can see the wireframe of what I've got. I'm just going to move this guy in place like so. All right, and as usual, I'm probably just going to make half of it anyway, so that's all. So I'm going to start with a cylinder, maybe increase the radius like so. Maybe let's do 20 so that I have a line right down the middle that I can split from. All right, and then maybe increase the height a bit like so. The only problem I foresee is how we're gonna handle the pole at the top. All right, so now we've got that. Let's see, how many segments do we want? Let me try. We've got 5 right now. 6. 6. All right, 8. All right, 8 sounds good. If we need any more, we can throw some more in there with a swift loop. So I'm just gonna throw on the edit poly modifier there, and I'm just gonna now start selecting these guys, and start just doing just very basic, nothing crazy right now. I'm not gonna go too overboard. I just want to get like the simple outline of it down right now. I don't want to do anything too crazy. I'm not going to start going into detail and putting in the eyes or anything. But I'm going to start just kind of moving all of my stuff in place. All right? And this is where I think we're going to need a little more polys, but we'll address that here in a bit. We got that. That's okay. That's okay. All right, so we've got our basic head in place. Now, the next thing we want to do is we want to make the little body. And we're going to just make this guy out of a sphere. All right. And we're not going to use the regular sphere. We're going to do that box sphere that I showed you guys how to make, just because it's going to give us better topology. So the first thing we're going to do is going to move this guy right in place. And I think I'm going to use a box for everything else. So, right, this is, you know what I'm saying? Like this is, make this guy an instance of that guy. All right, this is super simple. All right, let's do like a cylinder, a eye would be a cylinder. No, I would make it a sphere for the eye. All right, like so. And then I would make a box for the tooth. Yeah. Make a box for the tooth. Look at how awesome these shapes are, right, that I'm making. And then for this guy, oh, this is going to be relatively easy. I'm going to use a line. I'm going to use the line tool. And I'm just going to draw this eyebrow out. Right, so let's just... Boop. Just like that. All right. Got our eyebrows in place. We got... I think we got everything in place now. Wow, that was super quick. All right, now that we've got that in place, let us now deal with let's deal with the other stuff. Okay, so it's super boxy right now. That's fine. That's perfectly fine with me. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna do two. No, let's do one. Just so I just want a perfect square, right? Alright. And then let's do 10, 10, 10. And then we're just going to do that spherify. So I'm just going to hit S a few times to get me to the S's. I'm going to do spherify. And then on top of my spherify, I'm just going to add a FFD modifier. So pull this guy like right there. And actually, after my spherify, what I'm going to do is I'm going to add an edit poly on top. Select half. You guys know the drill. Delete. And then we're going to go back to, nope, we're going to take this off. So here's the thing about FFD modifiers, if you guys don't know. So if I select this and I go back up into my stack of my edit FFD modifier, it's only going to use this selection that I have, right? So if I wanted to affect the entire thing, I need to make sure that I have none of my selection sets selected, all right? And then when I go back into my FFD modifier, now I'm going to get what I was looking for. So now let's hit 1 on the keyboard is going to take me into my selections. So now I can just start selecting these guys and kind of just moving them out of the way. All right, just moving them to kind of match his frame. Move this guy out of the way. Let's do 1 again. Just like so. Actually gonna move this guy all the way out like that. And I don't want this to stretch too much, so I'm gonna give them a little more, so they're a little more even. Let's move this guy out of the way. I need to push this guy in a little bit. Move these points out. Just like that. Maybe even pull these guys up a little bit into the body. Alright? So all we're doing is shaping it. Shaping our Goomba. Alright, just like that. Alright, we've made the body, and we can throw an edit poly modifier on top of it. Select this guy, and then mirror. So we just symmetry modifier, boom, boom, boom. I'm going to hit S a few times to take me to the S's. Now that I'm in the S's, symmetry modifier, we've got the body of our Goomba. Alright? So we're going to do the same thing for the shoes. But the shoes are a little different because they're kind of flat at the bottom and then they're rounded at the top. So let's do this a similar situation where we're just gonna do. You know what? I'm not gonna do that. I'm gonna use what we already have. I'm gonna show you guys a little technique that you guys can use. I'm just gonna shift and drag this guy down. We're gonna make it a copy. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna cut this, cut the edit poly, and cut the FFD modifier. I'm gonna select this guy, bring it up like so, rotate. Actually, just cut this as well. All right, we're gonna just start, since we've already done this, right? We're just gonna use this as our base, and I'm almost thinking I'm gonna use this again for the eyes as well. So I'm just gonna duplicate this as well, and I might go ahead and use it for the teeth too, just to show you guys I can use one mesh to make every single one of these guys' little parts. All right. We've got our FFD modifier now. And what I want to do is I want to make sure that I've got this guy as close to straight as possible. All right. So now let's throw on an edit poly modifier. I'm going to hit F on the keyboard. I'm going to select these guys right there. I'm going to delete those. Select this bottom one, hit R on my keyboard, scale it down. Right? Now I've got kind of my Goomba shoe started. So I can do two things. I can just close it like so or like so. Right? Like these are two philosophies. So what I might, do you guys see what I'm doing here? Right? If I select it and scale it in through the middle, right? I'm going into a pole. Right? I'm going into a pole. But if I scale it in, because we made it 20 sides, right? We can scale it in this way and scale it in, right? Select this guy, right click, weld. All right. So now you can deselect that, throw our FFD modifier right back on this bad boy. Right? Hit 1 on the keyboard. I'm just going to make the shoe. So the shoe kind of like that. Like that. And it's got kind of like a fluffy top. I know it's a very descriptive word, fluffy. So it's kind of like that. Let's now throw a turbo smooth on it and see what we get. Here we go. So let me hit Alt X. Boop. Just like that. And the thing about this shoe is, whenever he's walking, it kind of like bends like this. So let me show you guys what I'm talking about. So it kind of like bends up like this. Just gonna grab these guys. All right. He's kind of got like, it's kind of like a bow like that, and then so yeah, something like that. So the image I'm kind of referencing, it's kind of like, you see how this little drawing's got like, and then even right here. So you're starting to see what I'm talking about right there. It's kind of soft on the internal. Look at this Goomba. That guy looks crazy. All right, so yeah, that's pretty much it. And now that we've made one, I mean, it's got to be super hard to make the second one, right? It's just going to be impossible. All right, let's go to our material editor and, let us, I made that in the wrong view. Let's go into our material and we're gonna select a physical material. No, actually, I think we already have some made. So I'm just gonna shift drag this guy. I'm actually gonna turn the roughness all the way up because these guys are not shiny at all. And I'm gonna select this material color, select my color picker and pick the brown for the shoe. Throw that on that bad boy. Then, so there's my Goomba. I'm gonna shift drag and then double click on this guy to make sure I have this, the right one selected. I'm gonna pick, again, I'm gonna pick the body of the Goomba. All right, and I'm gonna assign that just so we're working along the same kind of colorway. Okay. So the head is this. All right. So next thing we want to really start to do, so we can just shift drag this, make it a copy. Yeah, I'm probably gonna use that guy. Delete that one. It's actually let's mess with the eyebrows right now. Let's look at the eyebrows. So for that, I'm just gonna turn on view in render, view in viewport, like so we can see what our brow is doing. Right. Alright, so now let's go to the front view. Let's hit F4 so we can see our wireframe, and I'm just going to select half and then delete. And then I'm going to throw a swift loop at this top right here just so I can get some better. What that's done is it's deleted a lot of these. It's deleted these the top and the bottom face. All right, that's fine for us. That's fine right now because what we want to do is we're trying to just kind of start getting all of our shapes in here. All right. So there's two kind of things going on right here. So as you can see, this mouth kind of thing is open. Right, his mouth is open on the sides and it looks like it closes right there. So I'm just gonna start by, I'm gonna go to this front view. Actually, what I'm gonna do is let's hide this tooth right here. Let's hide that guy. Let's do FZ. And then what I'm going to do, I'm just going to start cutting into this guy just to get our shapes and stuff. So I'm going to do like that. And I'm going to do Alt and C. Right now I can start cutting into this. I'm going to just do like that. Like that. that. So it's going to end right there. And we're going to need to connect this guy right there and right there. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. All right. So I might want to, because I'm gonna chamfer this here in a second to make his mouth opening right there. All right, and I'm gonna split those. All right. So next thing I want to do is we're gonna start drawing out these eyes. So let me just start boop, boop. Okay, now one on the keyboard. I'm just gonna start. I'm gonna connect this to this. Then I'll connect this guy to this guy. This guy like so. Let me hide this guy. Select this guy again. Just gonna hit W. And I want to move this guy, but I want to move it on the edge, right? I've showed you guys how to do that now, so you guys should be familiar with that. So I want to move it on the edge so that I don't affect the silhouette of the shape. So, yep, like that. Nope. Let's do 2 on the keyboard. I'm going to remove this one. And then I'm going to recut because I've got like, you know, the thing is the eyebrow is going to cover up a lot of this stuff anyway, so we might, you know, this might be overkill, but it's better to be safe than sorry. I'm going to hit W, control backspace to remove that extra rand over. Okay, got 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. So as you guys can see, I'm counting, right? I'm constantly counting to make sure I've got quads and I haven't goofed up somewhere. So 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Right? 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 or 3. 4 or 3 is the idea. So I might even take this one. W control. So you hit 1. I might take this guy and bring it like this. 2. W, select this guy, remove this guy. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4. Just so that we've got a good transition, because I don't want there to be like pinching, because there might be pinching right here. So that's what I'm trying to avoid right here. So if I do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, yeah, this has to go here. And we're gonna need to add his little frowny face thing that he's got going on here. So let me do that as well. So I'm gonna just Alt C right here. Once again, I'm just gonna start cutting. Boom, like that. Hit W. Control backspace. Hit 1 on the keyboard. Right. just gonna right click and then connect those. And let's do Alt C again. And then right click. I'm gonna cut that into that. Cut that into that. And then cut that guy into this guy. So 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, that's not bad. I can honestly, instead of doing this, I'm gonna use these since I've got these extra ones here. I'm gonna use these guys. Oop, 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 oop. That's not what I want to do. I want to just backspace instead of removing that vert. I'm gonna use this as another, another. You know, if I've got the polys, why not use them? You know, why not use them? I'm gonna use it to kind of help me round out the edge, right? So that's the idea. We're trying to get somewhere. Okay, so let's do the same thing with this guy. Control backspace. Nope, it's just backspace, not control backspace. So Alt C here, and then boom, hit 1, and then just move this guy like so, just so. I don't know how useful these guys are. They might be causing more harm than good. So I want to be careful. I want to give them enough space to do what I need them to do. So this guy can go up here a little bit. I'm just giving them space and making sure my silhouette is looking fantastique. Let's see. This area is kind of interesting. Let's see this. Move this out of the way like so that we can, yeah, something like that. Alright, so now, you know, it's just about attacking these and making sure I've got kind of like the rounded eye shape that I want. Okay. Okay, now I'm gonna use this, and then I'm just gonna cut this guy out here because it kind of fades away. All right, so what we can do now is just kind of cut these guys out like so. And yes, you can definitely like try to clean these up. Right, I would, you know, try to clean these up. Straight lines are great lines, right? Straight lines are great lines. Okay, this is useless. I'm just gonna straighten this guy out just so I know that I'm getting the right amount of distance, and I'm, you know, just trying to clean it up a little bit. And that's me, right? That's my personal kind of habit, and I would implore you guys to get in a similar habit of kind of trying to clean up your stuff as you're working through it and making sure. So I've got this weird thing going on right here, and I don't get one bit, not for 1 second do I like what's going on right here. So I'm gonna just hit backspace, hit 1, Alt C, and I think it goes like this. It's closer to this. Hit 1, W2 on the keyboard. Control backspace that. I'm gonna hit 1, right click, I'm gonna target weld this to this. So we've got that. Boom. Just like that, we've got the eye shape in place. Okay. So now we've got this guy we got to deal with. All right, first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to select this guy. I'm going to actually Alt C once again. I'm cutting. All right, this is a day about cut tools. You guys will. So I'm going to hit right click. I'm going to chamfer that. And what that's going to do is it's going to give us a crazy looking hole. Wow. So now you can add extra segments to it? What? That's nuts. Alright, so increase that. Alright. Just gonna try to match move these guys into place. Alright, what I can do is I'm just gonna right click cap and then I'm gonna use a geopoly on this. So geopoly just gonna make sure, hopefully. Alright, nope, it's not gonna do what I want. So control right click. Alright, let's collapse this back up. Now we're gonna bring this guy. Okay, 1 second. Okay. So that, let's just draw it out. Okay. Okay, just like that. Much faster. Trying to fit that into there. It's just much. All right. So now we've got our basic shape in for the Goomba, and I think this is a good stopping point today. Do Alt C, cut this like so, cut this guy like so, cut this guy like so. I'll cut this guy like so. And then I will, actually I'll target weld this. No, just remove it. I don't need to target weld anything. And I will do the same for here. Alt C here. And boom, like so. I don't need this guy. Alright. So this guy's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Wow. Come on, Ty. So now we can just do this like so. This guy turns to 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so we do need to do something with this guy. probably do is this. Right. Probably gonna end up deleting it anyway, so it's probably not gonna matter in the long run because these lips are like they're kind of like closed right here. So and these guys get like pushed in a little bit. So we've got I'm gonna probably go grab all these guys, inset them at the end. But yeah, I think we've got a decent start right now. So let's see what we got so far before I release you guys for the day. So it's just gonna hit S and do the symmetry. Let's do Alt X. This is the start. Alright, so here's where we finished off today. Alright, does anybody